Hello and welcome to Denny's No Reservations. My name is Sammy Two Slap or NG Two Slap, as you may know me by now. I would love to welcome you to this week's episode of Denny's No Reservations, LBLCS's newest content piece of getting to know players, org owners, admins, captains, pretty much anyone who plays here in the LBLCS, and you want to get your gaming story out there of how you became a player of LBLCS and stuff like that. We can go into depth about that. Today I'm joined by my special guest, the mid laner for NG Gremlins in the economy this year, ThatBoyTruth.
Going on, everybody? As you guys know, I'm that boy Truth. Go by Truth for short. I am the mid laner for NG Gremlins this season. Past seasons, I played for High Alert. I played for Team Volatility. I've been around the scene for a long time. Serenity Esports, when Serenity was still around, and now I'm with Sammy, playing mid lane for the Gremlins. It's been a fun ride. I'm a two-time commercial champion, as is the new meme around the LBLCS. But yeah, it's a little bit about me. Played top lane for 2 seasons for the Henchmen. Won 2 titles with Nox, him, Silver, and Panther. Four of the greatest guys on the face of the planet. Couldn't have did it without them. Like they carried me all the way through. So, you know, it's been a pleasure being in the LBLCS for I think this is probably my fourth or fifth full season. Um, Pickle would know. My homeboy Pickle. Shout out Pickle Hater 77, the LBLCS historian.
Alright. Well, welcome on, Truth. It's great to finally have you here. Now, tell us about your gaming background. What got you into gaming?
So all through high school, um, I was a pretty recruited athlete. So yeah, I had a lot of friends on my sports teams and stuff like that. In high school, we were wild kids. They were doing things that I didn't really feel like doing. Um, I just try to stay on the straight and narrow. And I kind of got along with everybody in school. So I had a couple friends that were big into like SOCOM, which was first person shooter on PS2. That was kind of like the first probably like real competitive gaming that I got into. Then I got into Madden. Obviously, I love Madden. I'm a big sports guy. Madden, FIFA, 2K. Well, it wasn't 2K back then. It was like NBA. I forget what it was back then. But so basically, just sports games got me real hooked because I was an athlete and it just kind of stood out to me. And then SOCOM 2 was fun. We used to have to use like websites to find matches because there was no matchmaking back then. Like online was it was what it was. Like if you didn't have a computer, like console online really wasn't a thing. But that's kind of like what really got me into it. Was just kind of hanging out with my buddies. Um, you know, we all lived really close to each other. We all had like small TVs. We would just grab whoever's house we were going over, just bring over a couple TVs. We all link up in the living room, basically land it up, um, cheat our asses off, and try to win as much as we possibly could.
Sounds about right. I remember having to take a TV and Xbox over to my friend's house when they were still trying to figure out online gaming. It
Yep.
was it was stupid, but it was fun because everyone had fun, which is the biggest thing
Yeah.
in gaming.
Then I played Warcraft 3, so I'm not I'm not a good StarCraft player or Warcraft player or anything like that. But what I did play a lot of was Dota. So
Dota.
I had a couple friends that I met playing Dota, and they were like, "Yo, you should try this new game out." The guy who created Dota is like working on this new game. It's called League of Legends, and I tried it, and I was like, "This sucks. This game sucks. I'm going back to Dota. F this." And then like a year or two went by. I started playing League. I think towards the middle to the end of season 2, and really I got into it just because I saw Proceed and Hotshot, GG, CLG. Kind of was like the first team that I latched onto, and TSM before I knew that they were rivals. Actually, like both, and then became a CLG fan and became more serious about playing League from there.
Okay. Well, you answered my next question without even me asking it. Cheer. Okay.
It's like I do this for a living.
Yeah. So, then what got you interested into competitive League of Legends and the LBLCS?
So I remember being on Reddit, and there probably still is it's probably still a community. It was like Team Reddit teams, um, and that was when I first met Jurassic, my top laner, and Nox, who I played with on the Henchman and Team Volatility. And it was just kind of like, ranked fives was a thing back then, so that was like a really cool mode where like you just group up with 5 people. Didn't really matter what the ranks were. There was no restrictions. You didn't have to be like within a certain rank of anyone to play with anybody. Um, so in a sense, it was like odds are we're gonna get smoked, but screw it, we're gonna play anyway. We're gonna try it out. Um, yeah, so that's really what got me into it. And then we played in Blue Otter. Blue Otter was kind of a mess. So after the season in Blue Otter, I was like, I'm gonna go try to find a different league. And then I ended up linking up and trying out for Serenity, and got coached by Ninja, and actually just became a much better player after that. So shout out to my boy Ninja, appreciate you. And then from there, I went up to commercial. Played a couple seasons in the I played a season of commercial as mid, and then when Team Volatility ended, that team that ended, um, I decided to switch to top lane, and then played with the Henchmen for 2 seasons and High Alert, won two championships. So it was fun. Just being in a competitive environment. I'm a competitive person. I got that fire. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. If we're walking down the street, I'm probably gonna try to walk faster than her. So that's just ingrained in me, essentially, like who I am as a person. Just growing up with the background that I had, playing baseball and football. So that that fire is really what burns in me. That's it's a little bit different now because I'm old. I'm 36, so I'm not running out there playing basketball and baseball and football and stuff like that anymore. So I got a bad wrist and a bad elbow, and I grew up with some cool people and run some league.
All right. All right. Now, you are the current mid laner here in Fern Fury's Gaming Gremlins.
Yes.
How is the season going so far for you?
You want me to answer that truthfully, or you want me to lie for you? I'm kidding.
Both?
So it's been it's been an interesting season. In the beginning, tried out for a couple different teams. I even toyed around with being a sub for 2%, because I really like those guys. Had a good relationship with those guys. They were a lot of fun to be around. Um, Good mutual rivalry that we had, playing against each other a couple times through the season. And then Sammy kept, every season Sammy's like, "Hey, you're a free agent. You want to try out?" And I'm like, maybe. But this season I gave it a shot. Um, the roster has changed like 12 times already, so it's been
Yeah.
interesting, like, just
We,
continually getting to know different people
we
and
don't
trying
talk
to
about
like
that.
find that synergy. But yeah, I mean it's going pretty good so far. Um, Unfortunately, we don't have a game this week due to circumstances in the league, but next week we do. So we got a nice little vacation week where we can kind of gel and work in our new jungler again, and just
Yeah.
kind of go from there. What
And,
about you? What are your thoughts on how our season's going so far?
well, I mean, it's not going terrible. I mean, went back when my team won it back in season 12 of LBLCS. We didn't have the greatest season, but we still climbed through playoffs and won. I mean, we've only lost one series so far. All of our other series have gone to 3 games, though, which is a little disappointing. But that's partial draft error and execution error. But we've been working on it, and it's getting better, I would say. So I think we're definitely a playoff team and a good chance to win it.
Yeah, I mean we got some really good players.
Yeah.
Honestly, like the addition of Smugs has been helpful. He's just really freaking good at the game.
Yeah, he
Dude,
is.
like competitive guy. He wants to grind. He wants to win. So it's been really helpful to have him around too. Just a smart overall guy. Just new to the competitive scene, but he's definitely gonna be someone that people are gonna want to watch out for. Into the future, as he's just breaking into it. So he's kind of just learning his own way, and I think he said he went from like bronze to gold this season. So he's putting in the work and he's putting in the time, putting in the effort, and he's a great player.
Yes, he is. Now, you've had a lot of experience here in the LBLCS. How's your experience been overall? Like, on scale of 1 to 10, and why would it be that rating?
I'd say it's probably about at least a 7.5, maybe an 8.
Okay.
Honestly, I really enjoy like the people that are in the league. Like it's very camaraderie is good. Meet a lot of cool people. It's like any other league. You're gonna run into people that break the rules or skirt the line. It is what it is. Doesn't matter like what league it is. So no league is gonna be perfect. Seen a lot of it. Seen a lot of different rule changes, and some of the rule changes have been like much better. So LBLCS is definitely trending in the right direction. You guys have a great staff, honestly, that really care about making it a comfortable environment for the players. I mean, I myself have been in trouble for comments that I didn't necessarily think I should have gotten in trouble for, but hey, that's why I say LBLCS is always trying to improve and try to make it a better place for everybody. So I can't even really be mad at it. It's like it is what it is. Yeah. Everybody makes a mistake, but
Yeah, I'm doing my best to keep you in line too. So.
Yep.
Now,
that's why I just DM you instead of saying anything. I just DM you.
Yeah, you just vent to me instead of going to like that, which is fine.
LBLCS vent line with Sammy 2-slap.
Yeah, I'm gonna start charging for it. It's like, what Peppermint pays like being the little psychiatrist on the Peanuts.
Oh yeah, we have to put a quarter in there.
Yeah, people are gonna start.
Well, maybe if you find us a coach, I can vent to them instead.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, no, but LBLCS, man, gotta say, like, shout out to the staff there. Shout out to all the guys, Les Force, Praetorian. I don't want to leave anybody out, Val. But there's people that I've interacted with personally. You guys, it really shows that you care about the players, and just from me as a player, just want to say thank you.
Now, you have mentioned you've seen a lot of rule changes in your time here at LBLCS. If there was a rule you could change up for next season, be like, LBLCS, hear my prayers, this needs to change, what would it be?
It's going to be like super unpopular. And I'm sorry that I got to say this out loud, but rank's got to be a requirement. People got to play a certain amount of ranked games. I think a lot of the times where we run into the issues every season is people sitting on the edge of a rank to play with their friends, which, obviously the whole point of the LBLCS is to be able to play with your friends. But at the same time, if your friend is, let's say diamond, they shouldn't be anywhere near economy or commercial. You know what I mean? Like, that's just, it's just one of those things where, when you're not required to play a certain amount of games, some people just don't like playing ranked. Like, I get it. I don't really like playing ranked myself. I don't even really, like I said, I'm 36. So I got elbow problems and wrist problems. So outside of practice, I don't play the game too much, but play as much as I can. But even then, like, every time I log in, do I want to play ranked? Some people just don't like playing ranked, which is fine. But at the same time, it makes it hard to kind of distinguish like where players should be if there's not a certain amount of games that need to be played. In order to kind of flesh people out. Like the roster verification team, they do the absolute best that they possibly can. And like I said, they try to make this a great environment for players to play in, but you're going to miss 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. It is what it is. Like, people are human, and without like the concrete stats there to back it up, it's kind of hard to really like make a determination about somebody. But I would say if I could change a rule, it'd be to have to play ranked games, and also they I would like the LBLCS to weigh people's statistics a little bit heavier. Like, for instance, let's say I've seen in the past a couple times where someone played like, 30, 33, 34 games or something like that, right? And they have like a 70% win rate. And they're almost at the level where they wouldn't be able to play in our league. They probably shouldn't be able to play in our league. Because if they played 10 more games,
with the
maybe they don't stay at
70%.
70%, but if they go to 65 or 67, then they're still going to be ranked out. You know what I mean?
Yes, I completely understand that, and that is a fair assessment. Most competitive leagues do have rank requirements, and like I know some of them aren't even too terrible. Like I think specifically Titan has their ranked requirements to like depending on how many games you have played already for the season. I think you only need to play like if you have over 100 games for the season, you only need to play like 3 to 5 games for every 14 days,
It's not bad.
and that's not terrible. I mean, that's less than a game a day.
Yeah.
And
Blue Otter was like, I think Blue Otter, you had to play like 50 or 60 games before the season started.
yeah,
Or something crazy. Maybe it was up to 100 at one point. I don't even remember. It was something crazy.
uh,
I'm not saying like that. Like, I don't want to force people to, some people, listen, people got lives, people got kids, people got activities they got going on,
exactly,
school, university, that kind of stuff. Like, you can't force people to play 100 games, but, it
it,
would be good to have them play something.
exactly, and it makes scouting a little bit easier at that point too. So
Yeah. I mean, the good thing about this league is that for the most part, um, people take it pretty seriously. So you're not really getting like a bunch of teams that are just like crazy off roll. I mean, there was one that we scrimmed. I can't even remember the name of them. They are in the league now. But when we first when we scrimmed them, we were kind of like, what do we ban, bro? What do you even pick? These people don't even like. The top laner was an ADC, the mid laner was an ADC, the jungler was a support or something. It was crazy. I don't remember who
uh,
it was, but
I know who you're talking about. I'm not gonna blast them on TV. So we're, I know who you're talking about though, but
so
I
do
mean
I. I'm taking the high road.
I'm taking the
But
high road.
like now it doesn't matter because you see what people play, and
Yeah,
as the season goes on,
we got
it's
their
easier
match
still.
results. We know what they've been playing and
Hmm.
how they've been playing. We can work with that information
Yeah,
to
we
figure
scouting
out.
now, boy. We scouting. We're out
Oh,
there. I got the binoculars on, man. I'm looking.
so you've already mentioned about how you found Nefarious Gaming that you're playing for this split, but
Yeah,
eh,
Sammy pounded me for the last 5 seasons.
I don't know what you're talking about. I did not hold you at gunpoint for this, so but you've been around for a while. In any previous season or current season, is there been a favorite matchup you've had in mid lane or top lane? Like since you
Oh
did
yeah.
play top lane, like and who were those people? And
So this is gonna come as no. We're starting a commercial, so this is gonna come as no shock to anybody that knows me or watched me play against this person. Um, it's Nut Drag Swag. Honestly, like 100% Nut Drag Swag. I got a real good relationship with those guys at Backflip. Um, it was always a lot of fun to play against Nut Drag because I know that like I was gonna get challenged. Um, in my very first season, I was playing stuff that would like just tilt the living crap out of everybody. Like I'm pretty sure everybody remembers the Ooga Booga I Play Karma, and just playing Karma top and TF, and a lot of top laners they would just get like the blood would just rush to their head, man, or to their hands, and they just flash, like try to kill me, and I'd just be like, all right, I'm just gonna mantra W and run away. Good luck, bro. Now you got no flash. But like Nut Drag was always like the type of person that just he kind of weathered the storm. He dealt with it. And then in my second season, when the henchmen were like, "Yo, you gotta actually play real stuff now," um, it was a good challenge in lane, and got a couple solo kills on him. So, I got a little bit of a bragging right there. Won 2 titles. So that, but yeah, not playing against Nut Drag was always a blast, honestly. In top lane, and then in mid lane last season, playing against Zane, I think I think that's probably not going to shock anybody either. I mean, I've already said that I have a great relationship with those guys at 2%. But Zane is someone that kind of plays the game similar to how I play, where like he's a high pressure laner and he's a very proficient laner. Understands trading and he understands matchups, which is good. And that's one of my strengths. Is I think my biggest strength is my laning. So being able to play against someone who also is a very solid laner and a very good laner, and even he was number 1 all-star, I was number 2. Definitely Zane from last season for sure. Trying to think if there's anyone I can think of from like even farther back, like Serenity days. I mean, most of the people aren't even in the league anymore. There's like a lot of people that people come and go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say top lane, Nutdrag, mid lane, Zane.
Okay.
And I'll give an honorable mention to Vader because that's my boy.
Vader. All right. Yeah, Vader's a good person. He's fun to play against and go roam and tilt off the face of the earth. So.
Oh yeah. Listen, I got him playing Hwei, so you guys got to watch out for that.
Yeah. So ban Hwei also in your bans against Vader, guys.
Yeah,
ban
don't ban
Vygar, Asol, and Hwei.
Leave Syndra up when you play me though. Just pick stuff to kill it. It'll work, I promise.
Yeah, pick Diana. Diana counters Syndra.
Oh, we saw that one.
Yep. So you did mention this multiple times. You are a 2-time commercial champion in top lane.
I got to keep the meme going, bro. I got to keep it going.
Now that you're back in mid lane, which is your main proficient role, how does it feel, and are you having fun again?
It's interesting. I will say it's comfortable, so it is a level of comfort. However, I see the jungler a lot more than I would like, because when I was in top lane, basically just 2 bruisers or tanks slapping it out, and no one really went up there. But I do see jungler quite a bit more nowadays, especially because I think people see like my champion pool. I don't really play, like a lot of like a Kali or something like that. It's like crazy outplay. Mainly play control mages and get some assassins built in there, but I see a lot of enemy jungle. Don't necessarily see a lot of my own jungle, which hopefully that'll change with our new jungler. So yeah, I mean it's been an interesting run being back in mid lane. This season I feel like there's a lot more. I feel like I get focused a lot more than last season. But I mean, last season playing with players like Vivusol and Jurith and Scuttlecrab, who are in financial this season, so they're not even in commercial. They're in financial. So like those guys are just outstanding players, and even Pickle Hater too. Like Camp Pickle Hater was always wide open. And people love Camp and Pickle for some reason. I don't really know why, because that dude doesn't tilt. That dude's got like the strongest mental when it comes to being in the game. He don't really care. You can gank him all you want. He's still gonna be Pickle. He's still gonna be a big beefy frontliner, and he's still gonna go out there and do his thing. So I feel like this season though there has been a lot more focus on me. Like there was one series we played, and the enemy jungler was literally just like inting just to CC me. So it comes with the territory, and I'm cool with it. I welcome the challenge and hope everyone brings it when they play against us.
All right. Now, we did talk beforehand about some other things you wanted to talk about. You mentioned about working at a car dealership.
Yeah.
Do you have any funny stories that are legal that you can tell us?
Yeah, I got yeah, so I worked with this one of my sales guys. So backstory: I've been in the business for 13 years, almost 14 now. I've worked pretty much every job there is. Sales. I'm now the finance manager for a Chevy dealer. I was a desk manager. I was a GSM, general sales manager, sales manager. Um, so we got bought out by someone. And when they came in, they were like, all right, well, we need someone that can order the cars. Can you do it? I was like, yeah, whatever. I do it now. So yeah, I'll do it. I ordered $9 million in trucks, and the owner comes out of his office and he brings in the report and he goes, can I ask you a question? I'm like, yeah, whatever. What's up, bro? He's like, did you order $9 million worth of trucks? I was like, yeah, I certainly did. And he's like, are you out of your mind? And I was like, well, I was like, listen, bro, if you wanted me to do this job, just trust me. Just chill out. He's like, all right, I'm gonna trust you. So truck came, like our dealership was pretty long, so I don't really know how to quantify like how lengthy the lot was, but if you guys are familiar with GMC Sierra trucks, 1500s, so crew cabs, yeah, they're pretty decent size.
Yeah.
We had about 35 of them, 40 of them down the row. And the owner came out and he looked and he goes, dude, there's so many trucks. I'm like, bro, just calm down. Just trust me. They're not going to be here in 3 weeks and you're going to be kicking yourself. Like, where are all the trucks? About a month later, he comes outside and he goes, did you order more trucks? I was like, you told me not to, bro. He's like, we need more now. I'm like, we needed more like 2 weeks ago. I said, don't worry, I ordered them. So it was kind of just funny to see his reaction. Like, you know, he didn't run a GM store. He ran a Mitsubishi store. So it was a lot different, like way different product, way different clientele.
Yeah.
So like he just didn't know. And, you know, it's not his fault. And you see that number and you're like, holy crap, what is this kid doing? Because you don't really know me either because you just took over the store. You know me for like a week.
Yeah.
So that's one. I had a sales guy who was 77 years old. And that guy, I never met anyone that hustled more than him. So I think I could say this. I don't think this is too crazy. When he was younger, he was a pimp, like an actual pimp.
Okay.
And so his background was he was a very slick talking, like awesome guy to be around, just funny as all can be. Not to say that like pimps are cool people to hang out with, but as he grew older and matured, and he became an actual just wasn't a detriment to society anymore. He was a good dude.
Good person.
75 years old. He used to beat these guys that were like 20, 23, 24 years old out to the lot. As soon as there was a tail light that was inside of that would turn into our lot, he was out there. He basically would like open the car door for you and like greet you as you pulled up.
Nice.
He just hustled that much, man. He's just an inspiration to just see. It's like it was like we closed at 6 on Friday, so it was like 5:55. So everyone's getting ready to leave. We got to work on Saturday, so people are trying to bolt out of there. And the phone rings. No one wants to answer the phone. I'm like, somebody answer the phone. I'm trying to censor myself as much as possible here. I'm like, somebody answer the phone. So one of our sales guys answered the phone and he goes, oh, I'm not taking this. I'm like, what is it? He goes, some dude calling from Alaska. Now, you guys can kind of see my backyard a little bit here. I don't live anywhere near Alaska, I can promise you. I live on the East Coast. I live in Connecticut. So we had someone call in from Alaska, and the guy said, literally, this is my name. Bup. I saw you have a cabin chassis online. I will pay you what it's listed for, and I will pay to have it shipped. I was like, okay. Sounds too good to be true, but all right, whatever. So I said to Joe, I was like, yo, Joe, get the phone. He's like, all right. So he spent like 15 minutes on the phone with the guy. The guy gave him all the information, you know, money order, all kinds of stuff, like the number for his money order, when to look out for it, when it was going to be there. This guy had decided to purchase the car way before he even called us. So Joe says to me, he goes, I need your help. I'm like, on what, dude? Like, that was about as easy as it gets. He goes, yeah, but what's a cabin chassis? So I'm like, wait a minute, bro. I was like, you just sold the guy a truck and you don't even know what it is? He's like, nope. I said, I'm going to tell you what. Go out in the lot. If you can't find it in 10 minutes, call me. I said, I guarantee you'll be able to figure out what it is because it doesn't look like anything else that we have on the lot. For you guys that don't know what a cab and chassis is, essentially it's like when you order a work truck, you can order it without the bed. So it's literally just a cab and the chassis of a truck, cab and chassis. So he spent like 10 minutes walking around and then he's finally sitting on top of the truck. I said, you find it? He goes, yep. I said, how hard was that? He goes, it was actually pretty hard. He said, because I didn't know what I was looking for. Then I was like, wait a minute, what the heck is this? Why does that have a bed on it? He's like, this must be it. I'm like, yep, that was it.
I didn't
So
know
he
those
sold the
had
truck
names.
to a guy in Alaska.
I honestly didn't know that's what they were called. I thought they were just trucks that people took the beds off and said, screw it. So
No, so actually, you can, so like, we're like a big fleet dealer. So we sell a lot of trucks to businesses and people that have like multiple Chevys. Back then I was at GMC, same thing, General Motors. But like the dump bodies, like on the truck, like a dump truck, landscape bodies and stuff like that. Those trucks get special delivered to those companies that outfit them without the bed on it, which is why they get called cabin chassis. And there's a certain amount that you can get allotted, and you have to be a commercial dealer to be able to get them. It's kind of cool if you think about it.
All right. Now the nitty-gritty stuff. You said you are the finance person. You said you want to talk about this. What can you tell us about building credit and being able to purchase our first vehicle? Like, for the younger folks who have had their moms and dads pay for vehicles for them before and they're wanting to save up and try to buy their first car.
Yeah, I mean, this is like super important. I wish I taught people this in school. This is like the old person in me talking now, like Uncle Truth here. Because I know a lot of people in the LBLCS are younger people, and you know, not everyone's younger, but you got a whole old man land, all a bunch of old people like me. But you know, this is stuff that they should teach you at school. So the biggest thing that I tell people when I meet someone that's never purchased a car before or doesn't have credit, doesn't know what it is, like doesn't even really know like the beginnings of it. I was lucky enough that my mom worked in a bank, so my mom helped me build my credit when I was like, as soon as I turned 18. This is what I recommend to everybody. Like, as soon as you're able to, as soon as you're 18, 19, whatever your state is, where you can open up your first debit or credit card, just go to the bank. You can get what they call a secured credit card. So essentially what it is they're not approving you because you don't have credit. They're approving you because you are giving a dollar amount that your card is going to be maxed out at. So, like, let's say you get like a $200 secured card. You can only spend a maximum of $200 on that card before paying it all off, or paying off whatever portion of it. It can't accumulate money more than $200. And what my mom did for me was I would put gas in my car. So, you know, back then, gas wasn't very expensive. It was like $20 to fill my car. I wish it was anywhere close to that now. But, you know, you go put gas in your car, right? The next month, you don't pay it off. You just let it run. So you put your gas in your car the whole month. You make your first monthly payment, whatever the minimum is, pay, you know, if you can pay double, just to kind of knock it down. And you do that for 3 months and then you pay it all off. And you just continue that cycle. And what that does is it allows the bank to see that you can make payments. So your credit will build up. Where people run into issues is like they'll charge it and then like immediately pay it off. Don't do that. Because part of what builds your credit is your revolving credit. So the amount of times that you pay on time on your accounts matters just as much as what your available credit is. And that's the other thing that people learn the hard way is available credit. So let's say you have that $200 card, your available credit is $200 as long as there's nothing on it. But if you spend $100, your available credit is now $100. Once you're established and you have cards, like a regular credit card or more than one card, you want to try to keep your balances at about 25% or below. So no matter what your card is, so even if it's $1,000, don't spend more than $250 on it. Don't revolve more than $250 on it at any point. because that'll help you build your credit as well. Basically, there's a lot of different factors that go into it. So it's your revolving payments, your recurring payments, how well you pay it on time, and then also what your available credit is and how much is available to be used, because it shows that you're not going to instantly get something and max it out. Because when the bank looks at something like that, they're going to look at it as, all right, well, this person's over leveraged. They can't afford to purchase a car.
Okay.
So there's a lot that goes into it. Like, I could talk about this for hours, but my main advice to everybody is, like, get that secured credit card. Put up your $200 or $500, whatever you want to do, whatever's feasible for you. Just use it for gas, use it for groceries. Make a couple monthly payments on it, pay it off, start the cycle over again. That'll be the biggest thing. The other thing is finances matter huge when you're going to buy a car nowadays. So I say this like I'm 36. Like, I'm not like, it's not like I'm 60. But when I bought my first car, the average car payment in the United States, so nationwide, the average payment was $250 a month. It was a long time ago. The average car payment in the United States right now ranges between $600 and $760 a month because vehicles are just so much more expensive. So don't shoot for the moon. Get yourself something to start off with. Make sure it's something that is vetted. So, like, go to like an actual dealership. Don't go to like a used car lot or anything like that. And get like a vehicle from a reputable dealer that has warranty on it, or you can purchase an extended warranty for, because you don't want to have a car payment and a repair bill at the same time. Because once those repair bills start to add up, then you get late on your payment, hit your credit, right? So what you want to do is set yourself up the best as you possibly can at all points to make sure that you are never over maximum of what you can afford. But also, down payment helps, especially when you're buying a car for the first time. If you don't have someone to co-sign for you and you're a first-time car buyer, if you have established credit, like if you did like the secured card and you did that for like a year, 6 months, or a year, and you did start to establish credit, it'll be easier for you to get a car. However, the more money you put down, the more likely you are to get approved. So I always tell everyone, people ask me all the time, like, what's a great deal? And to me, like, to quantify a great deal is almost impossible because everybody's situation is different. To me, I could pay whatever amount that I want for a vehicle because I'm in the position that I'm in. But for other people, I tell people, all right, before you decide what you want to buy, and you decide like, all right, I'm going to purchase this vehicle, you want to just make sure, like, does it have most of the features that you were looking for? So some people are like sticklers, like, oh, I have to have a sunroof. Like, yeah, you probably don't need to have a sunroof. If it's going to help you get a car and you got to ditch the sunroof, ditch the freaking sunroof. But as long as it has most of the equipment that you're looking for, it fits inside your budget, most importantly. Like, your budget makes it a good deal. If you like the vehicle, you like the dealership that you were at, you have some of the features that you were looking for, and it fits inside of your budget, it's a great deal. Do it. That's how I explain it to people that are in my family. So I'll explain it to you guys the same way. But yeah, like I said, so secured credit card helps if you've never had credit before and you're trying to build credit for the first time. It's definitely something you can do. Having an auto loan actually builds your credit the fastest of anything that you can do to build credit. But that said, it's not easy to get your first auto loan, and it's for that reason. So, if you don't have someone that can co-sign for you, and you want to do it yourself, or even if you do have someone that wants to co-sign for you and you just want to do it yourself, that's the way you start off. You got to start small. Just start building your credit from the ground up. It's like anything else. When you learn a skill, they say it takes like 10,000 hours to master a skill. You can't get to 10,000 hours without hour one. So start at the base, build a strong foundation, and then you can work up from there.
All right. Very insightful, especially for those younger people here in LBLCS who want to build their credit and eventually buy a car. So, now, what do you do during the off season of LBLCS? Like when there's no games going on, no practices, like this week. I know we didn't have any practices scheduled. We didn't have a game this week. What do you do during that off time?
I mean, spend time with my girlfriend as much as possible. It's the 24th was our 4 year anniversary, so we've been together for 4 years. So shout out to my girlfriend for putting up with me for 4 years. I don't know how the hell she does it. I'm sure you don't either. I'm sure you're probably like,
Nope.
wow, she's got to be out of her mind.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking actually. So
But yeah, I mean, me and my girl been together for 4 years, so I try to spend as much time with her. I have a dog who's actually just running around, which delayed our camera session here.
yeah, you
I
got
also have a
ganked by
rabbit that we.
Neferi.
Yeah, I did get ganked by Neferi. My dog is large. She's a German Shepherd. She's 100 pounds, and also have a rabbit. His name is Basil. We've had him since November of last year, so we've almost had him for a full year. He was a rehome from my girlfriend's sister. They had too many pets, so we took him in. It's been interesting. I'd never had a rabbit before. Mostly though, like outside of that normal stuff, I mean, I work a lot. I drive a lot to get to work, so a lot of my free time is really kind of just devoted to my career and trying to be the best person that I can be on a day to day basis, in terms of work and home life balance. Um, this week I'm kind of just like resting my elbow, resting my wrist. Normally I'd be like grinding like Path of Exile or something like that, because I'm a big ARPG fan. But the more that I do it, the worse off my wrist is. And then like some days, like you've heard me say like, oh, my hand's on fire today.
Yes.
And then I'm trying to play a league and trying to hold a mouse when your hand is on fire, because I have bad carpal tunnel. It's like just terrible at times. So really, I just kind of like I'm doing the R&R, man. I'm doing some rest and relaxation. As you guys can see, I'm sitting outside my house right now because it's beautiful weather. Um, I know it's gonna disappear soon. I have a fire pit that I'm actually sitting next to. There's one there, and then I got like the propane fire pit here. Um, but yeah, I try to spend as much time outdoors as I can. I'm a big football fan, so right now, every Sunday, like my whole Sunday is football, and usually I'll be LCS at the end of the day because we usually have to play on Sundays. Um, yeah, it's a huge time for me to just relax, ground myself, um, remove myself from my alter ego. I like to refer to truth as my alter ego because in real life, like I'm a big ball breaker. Like I like to break balls and like the meme and stuff like that. So like that's that part of me carries over to being truth, but truth is like way more competitive and way more cutthroat than I would say like I am on a daily basis. Um, so I detoxify myself from that guy and become Anthony, which is my real name. For those of you who don't know, um, was just I try to better my environment. I try to help people as much as I can. Um, was a big I'm a big energy guy, so I believe like what you put into the universe comes back to you. So just trying to better myself every day. Um, that's really what I do in the off season. But again, like in terms of gaming and stuff like that, I'm a big ARPG fan. So Last Epoch, Path of Exile 2 recently are kind of like my big ones. I play Diablo 4 every now and then. It's pretty.
What?
It's like get like 1 week out of it, and you're like, it's over. I'm done. I
What?
win.
What about Hades 2 since it just dropped?
What is that?
Hades 2.
I haven't played Hades 2 yet. I was looking at it today because I was at work and I was bored out of my mind. And I have my laptop, so I'm like, oh, let me just look and see what's on Steam. And I was like, oh, Hades 2. I was like, maybe. Um, I was playing Pal World recently. I like Pal World. Pal World is pretty cool. It's a pretty cool game. Um, I enjoy that. I haven't probably got like maybe like 20, 25 hours into it, so nothing crazy. I'm a huge God of War fan, so a lot of times, and Final Fantasy X is like my favorite game of all time. So a lot of times, what I do is like I'll go back and play games like on PlayStation and stuff like that. That's easier for my wrist and like easier to maintain, and just kind of like relax and just chill out, just really like low key kind of stuff. Um, and obviously, like I said, spend time with my animals, be outside. I enjoy being outside. Like I'm not like a nature guy. Like I'm not gonna go camping and stuff like that, but I do enjoy spending time outside. I'm also a cigar smoker, so bad habit, I know. Tisk tisk on me, but my stepfather and I, um, kind of like when I got introduced to like that side of the family, and like he started becoming a more prominent figure in my life. That's kind of like what we would do. We sit outside, smoke cigars, and bond and talk, and talk sports and sports memorabilia. If you guys are interested, just shameless plug here. They actually do sports memorabilia on Whatnot. They're called the Wax Hunters. They do a lot of like old stuff, so it's kind of cool. We went to Fanatics Fan Fest in New York, and we had a table there. It was a really cool time. I met a bunch of UFC fighters. I met a bunch of athletes, football players. Bryce Young for the Panthers, um, and it was like a really just like a real fun experience. There were so many people walking around. It's crazy how huge sports memorabilia is. It's one of those things where like back in the day, we all had Pokemon cards and we all had Magic the Gathering and sports cards from like back in the day, and we didn't really know what they would be worth, but like there was like a graded 10 Charizard I think sold for like 500,000 or $1 million. I can't remember which one it was, but a first edition, which I had one. I couldn't tell you where my binder is, but it's wherever it is. That Charizard's chilling. It's probably not a PSA 10. It's probably not going to be graded a 10 because we used to play with them.
Yep.
But those things are worth crazy money now, and you wouldn't think of it. And sports memorabilia is no different. Some of these guys, um, for the baseball fans, like Paul Skeens, a very good pitcher for the Pirates. He had a 1-of-1 card when his rookie season sold for $575,000. For what? He pitched like 3 games at that point. Patrick Mahomes rookie cards. My stepfather's big into Tom Brady. He wasn't a Patriots fan or anything like that, but he latched on to Tom Brady because a lot of Tom Brady stuff is very rare. It's worth a lot of money, and you can basically get it for like cheap because people don't know what they have. Um, so yeah, that's a very long-winded answer to your question, but
Yeah.
memorabilia, spending time outside, spending time with my girl, my pets, my ARPGs, and my nostalgic PlayStation games.
All right. Now, we will be ending this shortly. Do you have any final words you want to say to all the LBLCS people out there?
Yeah, I just thank everyone for the support. It's not often like every team doesn't really get streamed every season, but when you get on the LBLCS streams and you really just like people that you don't even really know or really interact with on too much on like a personal basis, like it's really so much fun and so cool to see people like celebrate like your plays and your achievements and things like that. And it's I just want to say thank you to everyone that like tunes into the streams, even if we're not playing, even if I'm not on the stream. It's tuning into the LBLCS stream is like a really cool thing that a lot of people do. Like I said, it builds a lot of camaraderie, and that's one of the things I like about the LBLCS is that everyone's pretty friendly. Pretty much everyone gets along for the most part, and it's. I want to thank everyone that like tunes in. Whether you're cheering for me or against me, I appreciate your eyes being on the screen and showing support to everybody that's in the game and in the community at the end of the day. And I met a lot of really cool people in my time in the LBLCS, and I don't know how much longer I have in the LBLCS, just based on like I said, having carpal tunnel and tennis elbow and all kinds of weird injuries from playing sports and being a pitcher. Um, so I cherish every moment that I get to spend with you guys, and ladies, guys and girls. And I just want to say thank you to everyone that comes out and shows support, and really just makes this league what it is and makes it fun, makes it enjoyable. Um, and beats me up on the rift, and maybe you get beat up by me on the rift, but at the end of the day, once that truth alter ego drops off, I really appreciate everybody, and I appreciate every opportunity that I have to learn and grow as a player playing with such a great group of people.
All right, everyone. This was Sammy Two Slap and That Boy Truth on this week's episode of Denny's No Reservations. We would love to thank you for joining us this week. And if you want to catch us on the next episode, we will be doing that here soon. And if you want to be on this episode, there's a link in the description below. There is a link in the LBLCS Discord content page. If you can't find it, feel free to DM me, and I will send you the link personally, because I know some people have trouble navigating things. So I will get it to you in some way. If you want to be on this show and you can't find it, just let me know and I will get it to you. And if you're enjoying this content, please give it a thumbs up and feel free to subscribe to the LBLCS Twitch and YouTube channels. Thank you and have a good night.